You're on. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How to transition your retirement income. So, today I am co hosting with Lydia Madison. Lydia, take it away.
Super excited to be here. I am the co-founder of Living Chic Financial. I am a seasoned financial professional, licensed in multiple states. My conversation today is really going to be centered on Social Security rules and regulations, analyzing multiple filing strategies, and maximizing retirement income using Life Yield. It's a new technology that helps to guide us in these discussions on Social Security. And we're also going to be talking about optional income strategies. Life Yield, just to tell you a little bit about it, it has been instrumental in guiding clients to identify nearly 11.3 billion in potential Social Security income since 2020. And I am joined by Kathy E. Smith. She's a licensed agent, truly proficient on, effective planning. She has done great things in the areas of education to benefit her clients with the universal life policies and annuities, and starting now to plan retirement with people living longer is really important. So analyzing multiple strategies also to educate clients on better ways to maximize their retirement income. So with that, we're going to dive right in. So the current trends and the demographics that have thousands of Americans thinking about Social Security, it's in the news. I know you all have been reading it. And so that's why we're doing this live right now. So we want to really talk about learning about Social Security. It's a brief history, how legislation has impacted Social Security in the future, the factors that determine your benefits. We'll explore the many factors that impact Social Security income. We're going to identify how to customize and maximize your Social Security income using interactive software. And we'll show you how to get the most out of Social Security. We're going to incorporate Social Security with your retirement income plan. We'll discuss how Social Security fits into your overall retirement income strategy and what are next steps, and how your advisor and how we as licensed professionals can help. So let's chat about some trends we're seeing across the industry. If you spend any time at all worrying about retirement, when to file for Social Security, and how to transition from saving to spending, you're most definitely not alone. In 2020, the number of Americans that retired doubled from the previous year. Some of the increase is due to the pandemic, but much of the uptick was pure demographics. The wave of baby boomers retiring is finally here, and one of the first questions being asked is, when do I file for Social Security? Making conversations like the one we're having today very important. So we do have sources. If you are interested in that, you can absolutely put your questions or your comments in the chat, and we will definitely follow up with you. So just a little bit of housekeeping. So here's even more proof that more Americans are retiring than ever before. I'm sure you've all seen the national debt clock in Times Square. In a similar fashion, the Alliance of Lifetime Income has created a live ticker that shows how many Americans are turning 65 each day. 2024 will see the greatest surge of Americans turning 65. Americans that need guidance on how to file for Social Security and plan for retirement income. Making the decision when to claim your Social Security is probably one of the most crucial decisions you'll make. It impacts your ability to retire comfortably. There are several factors that determine how much you receive from Social Security, and we're going to take a closer look at those factors. So you can see that there is an article written in the Wall Street Journal talking about households between the ages of 55 and 64. So you can kind of read through this a little bit. I know there's a lot of data, and we're going to go through quite a bit data today. So we're going to try to keep this moving along, but I just want you to know that there are articles that kind of talk about some of the important things that we need to pay attention to, especially with all of the changes that are taking place. So in the recent survey conducted by Harrison nationwide, less than half of pre-retirees surveyed say they understand the factors that determine their benefits. One of the previous slides, we show that for the typical American household, Social Security makes up 60% of their retirement income, yet less than half think they have the knowledge to make the informed decision. Today, we're going to provide some information and next steps to close the gap. So I don't know about you, but here's a question to ask yourself. Do you feel you're ready to, or do you feel that you understand about Social Security benefits and how they are determined? Not sure, but it's a great question to ask yourself. And okay, so signed into law on August 14th, 1935 was the bill. When payments began in January of 1940, you can kind of see that the act was intended to provide for general welfare by establishing a system of federal old age benefits and by enabling these several states to make more adequate provisions for aged persons, blind persons, dependent and crippled children, maternal and child welfare, public health, and the administration of their unemployment compensation laws. To establish a Social Security board to raise revenue and for other purposes, covering all potential scenarios would require a lot more time than we have today. So we're not going to go into all of that. But we are going to focus our time on the scenario where someone has made it to the age where they are eligible for Social Security retirement benefits. Even in 1940, when the Social Security payments were extremely small, it's obvious that Social Security was never intended to be the primary source of retirement income. So I'm sure many of you have heard that Social Security is in trouble. Yeah, the media is doing their best to make you worried. Here are a few headlines from the last year or so. And I'm sure you may have seen even more. As you can see, the media has been covering Social Security in this way for decades. It is more prominent now because of social media and the instant access to information. So I'm sure many of you have heard that Social Security is in trouble. The media is doing their best. Their media is doing their best. But here is what I would like to say about that. And I just said they're doing their best, but I also want you to understand that even with all of this going on, there's still some pivotal things that we can still do. We still have to take action on the things that we're able to take action on. So what is causing the stress of Social Security on the Social Security Trust Fund? While the news and media fans the flames, here are a couple of things that might surprise you. The pandemic only accelerated the depletion by 1 year. If no changes were made, beneficiaries would still receive 75 to 80% of their benefits. As alluded to the previous slides, demographics have changed dramatically over the last number of decades, which are creating some challenges for Social Security now and in the future. So what has changed? We have a lower birth rate, changes the distribution of the population. Back in the day, we had 3 kids per couple. Now we'll have 2 kids contributing for every retired couple. Those 2 kids working will have to pay more to cover the 2 parents, or the 2 parents have to get less benefits. That's what we're facing. So simply put, there are less people paying into the system and then taking income from it. So with that being understood, this slide further details the factors creating the stress on Social Security. So you can see the payroll tax is 2% in 1940. In 2021, it was 12.4. The beneficiaries in 1940 were 222,000. here in as of 2021, there were 69,738,000. The worker beneficiary ratio was 159 workers to one person. Now it's less than 3 to 1. So the retiree benefit in 1940 was $22.60 per month. Now it's $1,543 per month. So there's some additional things. Legislation saves the day. The Social Security Disability Act was signed in 1984. So the legislation was signed into law to shore up Social Security for the years to come. The Social Security Benefits Reform Act of 1984 was signed into law by then President Ronald Reagan on October 9th, 1984. Go figure. It's their 41st anniversary. I know, like, you're like, how did they know? How did they do that? Why are they doing it today? Trust me, we ask ourselves that same question. Just kidding. We're really excited that, we're here to, present this to you, and we're hoping that it's helpful. The purpose of this act was to ensure more accurate, consistent, and uniform disability determination decisions under the Social Security Disability Insurance, which is the SSDI, to shorten that program, and to ensure that applicants were treated fairly and humanely. It has been described as one of the key pieces of social welfare legislation enacted towards the end of Reagan's first term in office. But what does this mean, and how does it relate to our retirement benefits? This can be interpreted as the government stepping in to propose changes that will help fund Social Security. So, one moment. From an article in Kiplinger, Social Security's chief actuary, Steve Goss, has some ideas on how to shore up Social Security. Once again, history repeats itself. The system is ripe for reform. The possibilities shown here kind of give you an idea of, what can be done. Reduce benefits by 20%, increase revenue by a third by 2035, have a whole bunch more kids. Now, he also said that 1 in 6 Americans is in any given month receiving a benefit from Social Security. And all those, if all those were to be reduced by 20%, there'd be a lot of unhappy people. Congress understands this. So Mr. Goss points to Congress is already working on legislation co-sponsored by 6 Democrats, 9 Republicans, and 1 independent in both Senate and House. Time to Rescue the United States Trust Act aims to address the country's endangered federal programs like the Highway Trust Fund, Medicare Part A, Social Security, insurance, pension, and disability funds as the reserves dwindle. There's a broad recognition that we need to address the looming insolvency of the federal trust. So Congress Congress must respond in a way which will address this long-term problem, which is coming down the pipe much sooner than we expected. Our Trust Act is a bipartisan solution which will shore up our federal trust funds and put us on the path of a stronger fiscal future. So I really appreciate your patience as I navigate my slides. Okay, so we've explored the history of Social Security, but now I'm going to turn it over to Kathy to take us home.
So thank you, Lydia, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. So why should you seek advice when planning for Social Security? There are 3 volumes that contain over 2,700 laws, and a multitude of factors determine your benefits. And there are countless claiming strategies. So choosing the right strategy improves your retirement outcomes. You can't be expected to be an expert. It is important to seek advice. For retirement benefits, you'll have to work at least 10 years. Social Security uses a system of credits which you collect by working and paying Social Security taxes. I seem to have a little bit of tongue twisting going on today, but you can earn up to 4 credits a year, and you need 40 credits to qualify for retirement benefits. Each credit you earn stays on your record even if you change jobs or stop working for a period of time. So the Social Security Administration takes your top 35 highest years of earnings and uses your full retirement age to determine primary insurance amount, also known as PIA, and full retirement age is FRA. You can draw as early as 62, but it will permanently reduce your payments. And so what does that mean? If you decide to take it at 62, whatever level that your check is at that time, it will not increase as you get older. So the moment you decide to collect, your payments will stay at that level. You can defer Social Security benefits beyond your full retirement age and receive delayed retirement credits. And the chart to the right, if you could go back just one slide,
I'm
Lydia.
so sorry.
No worries. The chart to the right details the full retirement age based on your birth year. You're entitled to full benefits when you reach your FRA or full retirement age. And the PIA, by definition, is the primary insurance amount. And it is the benefit before rounding down to the next lower whole dollar and what a person would receive if he or she elects to begin receiving retirement benefits at his or her normal retirement age. So at this age, the benefit is neither reduced for early retirement nor increased for delayed retirement. And delayed retirement credits, Social Security benefits are increased by a certain percentage depending on the date of birth if a person delays taking retirement benefits beyond their full retirement age. So in the last few years, they're encouraging people to take it at 67 and they want to move that up to 70. So where can you find your primary insurance amount? The Social Security Administration mails an annual statement. Additionally, the annual statement and other useful information is accessible online by visiting ssa.gov. So here's an example of some great information you can find at the Social Security at ssa.gov. This graph shows monthly Social Security income based on the age in which you file. So starting from left to right, it gives an example of what claiming at age 62 would equal to, then claiming at full retirement age of 67, what that would be per month. And again, this is for illustration purposes only. Deferring benefits until 70 provides the maximum amount. The difference is quite dramatic. This calculator is available also at the Social Security Administration, but only calculates the benefit for a single individual. In a moment, we'll cover a more complex scenario. Next slide, please. In the previous example, it's very clear that deferring Social Security to full retirement age provides a much higher Social Security income. This slide illustrates that so many Americans do the exact opposite. In other words, they collect as soon as possible. So in all other aspects of our lives, we watch every dollar, we negotiate everything, watch for sales, and save where we can. Now, how many of you have spent more than an hour on hold with your cable company, utility company disputing a bill? For some reason, as a society, we're not this vigilant when it comes to filing for Social Security. So let's remember, according to the Wall Street Journal, Social Security represents 60% of retirement income for most Americans. Why would we accept a massive decrease in benefits considering Social Security is such an important component of retirement? So, here are a couple of poll questions. Why is it different for Social Security? Is it because there's a lack of education and guidance? Is it because it's out of necessity? Or is it a little bit of both? So take a moment and think about what $1,000 per month would mean to you. When the stakes are as high, we all should be making informed decisions about Social Security and our retirement income. This is the most important time to consult with a financial advisor. So, next slide, please. In the previous example, the numbers were based on single individual benefits. So let's take a look at a married couple. Meet the Birds. They are successful entrepreneurs wondering about their retirement. And like so many Americans, their first question is, when do we file for Social Security and how much will we receive? So your advisor has the knowledge and technology tools to help you make an informed decision regarding when to claim your Social Security. And I encourage you to start this process sooner rather than later. So the following example will might help you. So let's see how this works. So Marty is 56 years old and benefit at full retirement age is $2,200 a month. Wendy is 53 years old and the benefit at full retirement age is $1,800. The Birds would like to retire and claim Social Security in 2030 when Marty is 65 and Wendy is 62. Now, Marty and Wendy want to retire and claim their Social Security in 2030 when Marty is 65 and Wendy is 62. So, using this chart, Social Security optimization software, we can explore different filing scenarios. So, in this graph, the blue line represents how the Birds want to claim, and the green is optimal. Excuse me. The strategy that provides the most income from Social Security over their lifetimes. So the software did an analysis and recommends that Marty defers to 70 and Wendy to her full retirement age. In this scenario, there are two factors in place that we discussed a little earlier. The reduction in benefits that come with claiming before the full retirement age. And number two, the loss of deferred retirement credits for the years after full retirement age. And the difference is $214,916 over their lifetimes. So the real question is for Marty and Wendy is how to coordinate the maximized Social Security benefit into the overall retirement income strategy. So let's take a closer look. Earlier, we discussed that for most Americans, Social Security is the cornerstone of retirement income. So let's take the opportunity to see how it fits into your retirement income plan. In the same manner that your advisor can show you how to maximize your Social Security, they can also help you prepare and plan for retirement income using the same technology. So let's take a look at how you'll be able to identify income needs and start planning. After exploring options with their advisor, Marty and Wendy decided on the optimal filing strategy. Marty claims at 70 and Wendy at 67. However, they still want to retire in 2030 when Marty is 65 and Wendy is 62. This creates an income gap that begins when they retire in 2030 and runs through 2036 when they're receiving their maximized Social Security benefit. Using their maximized Social Security benefit as a baseline, the software illustrates in blue at the top of the slide the necessary income to get Marty and Wendy from retirement to when their Social Security benefits kick in. And you can think of this as bridging the gap. The asset chart at the bottom of the slide illustrates the assets needed to provide the income shown in the income graph above. So you and your advisor can discuss appropriate strategies and solutions to generate the necessary income to bridge the gap from your desired retirement date to Social Security. Social Security does have survivor benefits, and a widow or widower can receive benefits based on a number of criteria. However, in many cases, survivor benefits provide significantly less income when compared to the income while both spouses are living. Take the Byrds, for example. The income from survivor benefits Wendy receives the year after Marty passes is reduced by 42%. It goes from 85,000 down to 50,000. The Byrds come to realize that they do not want Wendy to experience any change in lifestyle after Marty's passing. This is represented in the green on the income chart at the top of the slide. This is the income necessary to supplement survivor benefits, providing Wendy with the ability to continue living her lifestyle. In the assets chart at the bottom of the slide, the software illustrates the assets necessary at the time of Marty's passing to generate the supplemental income. There are many strategies that can address this need for income to provide peace of mind, knowing that the surviving spouse is provided for. And engaging in this dialogue allows you to collaborate with your advisor to determine the best path forward. So, most Americans will need retirement income above Social Security, and the Byrds are no different. So, working with an advisor, Marty and Wendy determine how much total income they'd like to have each year. The software illustrates this in the red on the income chart at the top of the slide. It clearly illustrates the desired income above Social Security, and the assets chart at the bottom of the slide represents the resources necessary to fund the desired income. This is another opportunity for you to work with an advisor to determine the appropriate vehicle to generate your retirement income. So, what we would like you to do is to go to socialsecurity.gov at ssa.gov and download your statement and schedule a meeting with an advisor. You'll enjoy and benefit from the guidance that they can provide. And exploring strategies and options for Social Security and retirement income using interactive software will help you see a clearer picture of your retirement, whether you want to retire early or your retirement is just around the corner. So for more information and if you would like to schedule a call, visit bit.ly/P lowercase r, lowercase o, lowercase t, lowercase e, lowercase c, lowercase t, capital YF, Protect YF. And that is short for Protect Your Future. Thank you for your time today. It was a pleasure being with you. Lydia and I enjoyed it. And this was our first webinar together, the first of many. So if you are on LinkedIn and you have a comment, please leave your name. In addition to your comment, because the comment section is not picking up your name on if you're on LinkedIn. And thank you for your time.
Thank you.